And Fred, I know you're hearing jets right now. What's the latest where you are?
Yeah, absolutely right, Anderson. There was some jets from the Israeli military just passing overhead literally a couple of minutes ago, so it looks as though Gaza might be in for a few more airstrikes. What's happened here on the ground in Ashkelon, we're only about 8 miles away from the border with Gaza. They've had at least 20 rockets come over from Gaza here into Ashkelon. What they have in place here, though, Anderson, is a missile defense system called the Iron Dome. And across southern Israel, the Israeli Defense Forces say that that missile defense system has intercepted as many as 130 rockets coming out of Gaza. But of course, it can't intercept all of them. And that's the reason the Israelis say why they keep sending those warplanes over there to try and suppress especially the medium and long-range rockets coming out of Gaza. Because one of the things that also happened today is that the outskirts of Tel Aviv were actually hit by a rocket as well. No one was injured in that. However, it is very, very concerning to the Israelis if their main city, if the biggest city here in this country can in fact be targeted. And the message that we're getting from the Israeli Defense Forces and from the Israeli government is that they're both capable and very much willing to keep on widening that operation. In the short term, that'll probably mean more airstrikes, a lot more airstrikes. And in the longer term, or in the medium term, it could in fact mean a ground offensive. We're also, Anderson, seeing a lot of movement on the ground here, tanks and other vehicles being brought into place, Anderson.
Fred, I've been in Ashkelon and that entire region and also along the Lebanese border. The rockets, when they come over, obviously very imprecise. You've been told that the Israelis are more than willing to widen the operation, and the breaking news tonight, the troops are moving toward the border right now. How likely is it that ground troops will actually be sent in?
Well, that's a very good question. It's certainly something that the Israelis are leaving on the table. At this point, there's a lot of speculation. And one of the things that the Israelis are not willing to say is what would actually trigger a ground offensive. There's some people who are saying perhaps if Tel Aviv, for instance, took a direct hit from a larger rocket, that could trigger a ground offensive. We asked spokespeople for the Israeli Defense Forces, and they're just not willing to commit and say this would be where the red line would be crossed. However, they are continuously saying that, yes, they are perfectly capable and willing to start a ground offensive if they feel that they're not achieving their objectives with the aerial bombardment, or if in fact they feel that they need to do more than they're already doing right now. They say what they're doing right now is what they call surgical airstrikes, where they say they're predominantly taking out these rocket positions in Gaza. They say if they feel that they're not achieving that objective, that then a ground offensive would still very much be in the cards. And the other thing that they're doing, Anderson, is they're also mobilizing the reserves, which is another indication is that they are very, very serious about possibly going into Gaza with ground troops.